Hey Harmonizers, welcome to a Mustang update video of my little guy who's been nicknamed Timmy so far. I was being really kind of slow of coming up with a name, so some of our boarders at the farm have nicknamed him Timmy, short for timid. So I think Timmy is a super cute name, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep it because the meaning of timid, I don't know if that's a good thing to kind of keep. But the people that are in the pen here, so I'm actually in the pen, I'm filming right now. And these people that are in the pen are some of our boarders at our farm. And they are up at the farm a fair bit and they like feeding him grass through the fence. So I said, you know what, why don't you try coming into the pens? This is the first time that they've ever been inside the pen. They've fed him grass on the outside of the pen multiple times. And this is the first time inside the pen. And it's the first time that he's had so many people inside the pen working with him and trying to interact with him. So I thought this would be pretty cool to try out. There's 4 of us in the pen, so he's kind of surrounded. I thought really interesting here that he was willing to kind of go past Pat, who is the one that's kind of crouching on the ground there, to go get the grass. So you can see he kind of glances over and is kind of aware of her and is watching, but he's feeling pretty confident about that. And then she slowly stands up there and he backs up a little bit, but he didn't freak out and run away. He's just kind of watching her and keeping an eye, and he's definitely aware of where everybody is. And then this is John kind of coming over. He's going to go get some grass from the bucket as well. So he kind of backs up there so he can kind of keep an eye on what's going on. And with me on the corner where I'm filming, he is got people pretty much around him entirely. So this is really good experience for him to have so many people around. And at this point, we're still just giving him grass. We haven't done any actual touches so much yet. We can, he'll kind of touch our hand and there's like a little bit interaction there, but he's been too shy to let us actually do much more than that. So here he's just kind of looking at me and checking me out a little bit, but I don't have any grass or anything with me. I'm just holding the camera. And so John's over here, and because he was a little bit not wanting to come over for grass in the beginning, John gave him some grass on the other side of the panel that's in there to kind of start off with, so it's a little bit more like what they were used to being on the outside of the fence, and then kind of moves over so that way there's no barrier between them at all. So I kind of worked through that a little bit. Here's a cute little clip of him then kind of working up the confidence and actually starting to follow John a little bit, which is great. So he's following John because of the grass and the positive reinforcement. But I don't mind that he's kind of following the grass here because it's teaching him to kind of follow humans and want to be around humans. And we're already seeing a totally different horse than what I shared in his first video where he's like terrified of people. Now he's really starting to realize that people are pretty good news and you want to be near people and around people. He's not convinced that we should be touching him yet, but hopefully we'll be able to show him that scratches feel good and can be a nice thing to have as well. So that will be a different thing to work on and progress. And I've told these 3 people here, the boarders, that anytime they want to go in the field and feed him grass and whatnot, that's great. The more interaction he has with people and kind of gets used to people being around, the better. And so I don't mind if I'm not there, they can get working on that. And because I'm like super big pregnant, I'm like ready to pop any day now. I'm hoping it's soon. It's hard to be out doing a whole lot of stuff and having the time and the patience to work through a lot of things. Mostly I just want to sit down and be a whale. So or do a little bit of walking and whatnot here and there, but it's hard to do a whole lot right now. So I'm hoping that I can just have the baby healthy and safely, and if these guys want to be giving him grass and stuff while I'm having the baby and going through this last little bit of pregnancy, then that's fantastic. Of course, I want him to stay friendly with me as well, so I do go out and give him grass as well, and just haven't focused on trying to make too much progress kind of beyond that, other than, getting him to touch my hand and stuff like that. So I'm definitely taking things a lot slower with him. We could be doing things faster, probably, but I just don't see the hurry, because especially if I end up in the hospital for a few days and whatnot, I find with the Mustangs, if you miss a few days, you often get set back a little bit. So there's almost kind of no point. We may as well just kind of keep up with being friendly. And then once I'm able to get started kind of full time with him again, like working him almost every day, then we'll really work on progressing. This little part here I thought was pretty cute. Sue has the grass and is seeing if he'll follow her, but he's a clever little guy, and he says, you know what, I'm just going to go over to the bucket of grass that's over here, and I don't need to follow you to get the grass. So I thought that was kind of funny and silly of him. And you can see she just kind of walks towards him there, and he gets a little bit spooked and runs off a little bit. So we move the bucket out of the way, and now Pat's standing by the bucket, so that way if he did want to go over and eat the grass out of the bucket, we'd be okay with that, but it would mean he would have to put his head down low right by another person. And you can see as he walks by there, he gets a little bit claustrophobic, but he turns around and he does come over to get that grass again. So you definitely still see the flighty side of him, that little spooky side of him, but we're starting to see a much more relaxed horse. Look how his head is becoming much more level with his wither area. He's much more confident with taking that grass. This is Pat giving him grass and kind of followed her down there. So all three of them were giving him grass inside the pen. All of them had moments where he came to them or followed them. So this was just fantastic to see that he's really realizing that people are much better than he originally thought, which is a fantastic thing. We still obviously have tons and tons of work to do and taming to do, but this is a really nice first step here. So they were all kind of taking turns doing different pieces of offering grass, and he had moments where he'd be, a little bit standoffish like he is here, but then he comes around and does end up coming over to get that grass. And Evelyn has been taking part in horse training as well, so I've been getting her. She's actually a great little horse trainer, because she'll come over and she just tosses her grass inside the pen when she remembers to. And she likes to play on the bucket and jump on it, and she moves around and she squawks and she makes noises and is all over the place. And if he wants to eat the grass, he has to kind of put up with the fact that she's all over the place. She's moving her legs, she's jumping on the bucket, she moves her arms around. Sometimes she peeks through the fence and whatnot to look at him. Sometimes she goes through the fence and tosses the grass. And so he's doing really well with this, because he's not running away. Like, he kind of understands that she's a little bit all over the place. So he does grab the grass and then kind of step back, because he's not really sure when she's going to pop through the fence again. But she's, noisy. She moves around a lot, and he's, learning that he can come closer. She's going to come and get another handful of grass from me and toss it over to him. So overall, he's really starting to learn that people are good stuff and is having a good time. And Evelyn does an epic little fail here as she jumps and does not quite make it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.